I cannot believe what we just witnessed. They actually did it. The Florida Panthers have just knocked off the Boston Bruins in Game 7 thanks to an overtime winner by Carter Verhaeghe. This series wasn't just any President's Trophy winning team against a wildcard team. As we know, Boston just had the greatest regular season in NHL history. The Florida Panthers, on the other hand, they just squeaked into the playoffs by the skin of their teeth. They had the least amount of points in the regular season of any team that made the playoffs this year. The Calgary Flames actually finished with one more point than Florida despite missing the playoffs in the Western Conference. For the majority of the regular season, the Florida Panthers were a little bit of a laughingstock. Obviously, last year's President's Trophy winners, they went out and made a massive blockbuster trade in the offseason, acquiring Matthew Tkachuk, and for the better part of the regular season, it looked like the Florida Panthers were going to miss the playoffs. They didn't own their own first-round draft pick. This season was shaping up to be a complete disaster for them, and now look where they are. The Florida Panthers just pulled off what is truly one of the biggest upsets in a playoff series in NHL history. This one's definitely going to draw a lot of comparisons to when the Columbus Blue Jackets swept the Tampa Bay Lightning in 2019 after they had a historic regular season. One thing that series and this series between the Bruins and Panthers had in common, Sergei Bobrovsky was the goaltender for the team that pulled off the upset on both occasions. Absolutely insane. I still can't believe that actually just happened. Man, after Florida scored the OT winner and the camera was showing different Boston Bruins and kind of how they were reacting to this, they all just looked completely stunned. 43 points separated these two teams during the regular season. If I'm not mistaken, the only other series in NHL history that was a bigger upset, if you go by point differential during the regular season, was when the Los Angeles Kings defeated the Edmonton Oilers in 1982. I believe there was a 47-point differential between those two teams during the regular season. Congratulations to the Florida Panthers. They will now go on to face the Toronto Maple Leafs in round 2. That should be a really fun series, but man, I don't even know what to say. If you're a Boston fan, I'm sure you're just as stunned as all of the Boston Bruins players. I seen somebody post on Twitter, is this the last we've seen of Patrice Bergeron in the NHL, which is pretty crazy to think about. He's now an unrestricted free agent. I'm really intrigued to see where this Boston Bruins team goes from here, how they approach the offseason, but man, what a series, what a sport. The Stanley Cup playoffs, truly the best of the best. It really is, anybody can beat anybody at any given time. Just get in and anything can happen from there. I'm sure Leafs fans are really pumped up about this outcome. Be sure to let me know all of your guys' thoughts down below in the comments on this series. Do you think this was the biggest upset in a playoff series in NHL history? It's definitely up there.